number one, helping in raising capital, and number two, it is advising on some large transactions. Okay, so large transactions usually like mergers and acquisitions. Okay, so fine. Now let us try to understand the investment banking landscape in India. Okay, so I've just given you a basic idea that okay, this is what investment banking is all about. When we're thinking about investment banking, this is the direction in which you need to look at. But now let us get into the details. Okay, now let us further get into what are the different types of services that an investment bank can offer. Okay, so overall IB landscape in India. So first thing, okay, yes, do we have investment banks working in India? Yes. So, global banks like Goldman, JP Morgan, Barclays, Citi, Deutsche, Morgan Stanley, UBS, Bank of America, and this is just an indicative list. I cannot name all the banks out there. And on the domestic side, okay, JM Financial, Ambit, SBI, Axis Capital, Kotak Investment Bank. Okay, these are some of the banks. As I said, that most of the commercial banks today have their investment banking arm. Okay, and they have got a big boost after the SME IPOs have started to come up. So that is the kind of players that are working in the industry. Now let's look at a very important concept. What is buy side and sell side? Okay, so in order to explain you the concept of the different services that are offered by investment banks, first you need to understand the concept of buy side and sell side. So what buy side is when you are engaged in asset management. Okay, when you are engaged in managing portfolio of your clients. So in simple words, in very layman's language, when you are buying securities from the market, you are on the buy side. Okay, so this is the very simple way to understand this. When your responsibility is not to sell anything but to buy securities from the market. Now it can be equity shares, it can be bonds, it can be real estate, okay, or any other alternative investment. If you are on the buy side, you are if when you're buying something, you're on the buy side. So let me give you some examples for that. For better clarity, the first thing is asset management. So what is asset management? Now, you all have already seen this, right? I think you all have heard of mutual funds. Most of you are already investing into mutual funds, right? How many of you have an SIP going on? Do you understand when your money gets deducted from your bank account, what is happening to that money? What's going to happen with that money? Where is it going? Who is going to handle that? The entire process? Yes. So mutual fund is a mechanism, right? It's a process, okay? It's a scheme, but you are investing in a mutual fund scheme, okay? Small cap scheme, okay? Emerging markets. But ultimately what's happening, okay? Your money is being handled by an not the fund, an employee of a company, right? So the company is basically your asset management company, AMC company. So if you have invested in an SDFC small cap fund, so your fund is now being managed by SDFC AMC company, right? Asset management company. And there are fund managers who are going to manage it. The asset management industry is raising funds from the public, okay, and then creating a pool of funds and then investing them into the markets, right? So that is asset management. And why is it under buy side? Because they are buying securities from the market on your behalf, right? So ultimately they are the buyer side. They are on the buyer side. They are not on the seller side. Okay. Next is private equity. So now understand this thing that public listed equity is a trade. Private equity is a very new form of investment, okay, which is still considered as an alternative investment, okay, not a very equity firms, okay, if you have heard of PE firms, private equity firms, they invest into private equities primarily, okay, that is their target. Is even if they let's say invest into listed companies, then they will take down that into a private company. So these firms are investing into equity private companies. Fine. So one example is Carlyle Group. Okay, it invested into SBI Cards and Payments. Okay, even before it has gone public. Okay, before it got listed. So private equity firms are also on the buy side. Okay, because they are buyer companies. Okay, they are buying something. Okay, they are buying stakes into companies. Okay, usually they would buy a moderately larger stake, or sometimes they buy even the entire company. Okay, and then in a period of time, 5 years, 7 years, okay, when they get a good liquid opportunity, then they will make an exit, maybe at multiple times returns. So, and then hedge funds. Okay, so hedge funds are kind of a mixed thing. Okay, it's not always that they will just buy. They are also into sorting as well. They are into arbitrage opportunities as well. Okay, so hedge funds are uh, unregulated mutual funds, I can say. Okay, mutual funds are very regulated. Okay, so they have a lot of you know check on all these mutual funds activities. But in case of hedge funds, these are unregulated. Okay, so you clients